Oh, POW! Greetings and welcome to a very special Let's Play with Weird Wizard for Joy to the World. The Medieval Engineers have come. That's right, Medieval Engineers has been released into early access. Well, it looks pretty good. But this is actually the first time I should be playing it. These are our first impressions. I've played Space Engineers, so I know kind of more or less what to expect by and large. But I'm sure there is a lot more to this game, and it certainly seems like there is a lot of awesomeness. It's creative only at the moment, so let's just dive in. Let's dive in and see what we can create. We're going to do a custom world. Wonder. There we go. Weird Wizard's Custom World of Wonder. Description, see title, see name. There we go. Autosave off. Structural integrity, why not? Mods, we don't have any. What should we, planes, 2 houses. The quick start world. Oh, I don't know. Oh, a castle. Large terrain, small terrain. Let's go 2 houses. Why not? There we go. In we go. So I'm pretty excited about this game, I have to say. I do have Space Engineers, which is the other game by Keen, the previous game by Keen, which uses the same engine on which this is based. And it's a great game. It's a great game. Although I should preface that by saying it's more of a toy box than a real game, in my opinion. I mean, hopefully one day it will become a real game, and perhaps in multiplayer, it's a bit more like a real game. But in single player, there's very little to the survival components of the game, and really you're just building stuff and doing stuff for fun. Like making. Oh, here we go. We've loaded in. Great. Well, we've got structural integrity on, which I guess means we can't just build anything we want. I think creative mode is the only mode available at the moment. Hopefully there will be a survival mode, and hopefully it'll be a bit more meaty than the Space Engineers survival mode is at present. I am ever hopeful that Space Engineers survival mode will get more. Put that there like that. There we go. Oh, and like that. Great. I'm hopeful that Space Engineers survival mode will become more advanced as time goes on, more survivally, and you'll get AI enemies and things like that to deal with. At the moment, it really is just a kind of a throttling mechanic to slow you down. Whereas in creative, you can just dump anything you want down straight away. In the survival mode, or whatever they call it in Space Engineers, you have to mine up the resources you want first. But that's Space Engineers, and we're not going to talk too much about Space Engineers because this is Medieval Engineers, and I like medieval worlds. Oh, there we go. Look, insert and page up. Oh, it's the same as in Space Engineers. Okay, so basically this is it. You rotate your blocks around the different orientations using insert, delete, and home, and page up. You have to enable flying mode somehow. Let's have a look. Flying mode on off X. Okay. So this is basically the Space Engineers jetpack, medieval magic style. At some point, if I keep building this up, it should collapse because its structural integrity, I think, is on, isn't it? Did I not turn it on? Let's just keep building it up and see if eventually it will collapse. Up. You know what? I think. Oh no! There it goes. There it goes. Oh, now there's a thing of beauty. Down it comes. Boom. Oh, look at all that! Look at all that joyous rubble. I'm surprisingly impressed with how well it runs, actually, considering my machine is beginning to show its age a little bit, like an aging racehorse. It may be time soon to retire it to light duties, but nonetheless that ran reasonably well. Right, let's have a look. These are all the different block types that are currently in the game. So we've got various different sort of stone components for building up your towers and castles and things like that. We've got wooden components here, wooden walls, wooden doors, wooden windows. You can make some really pretty things. I mean, I do love medieval architecture, I'm one of those people who loves the whole medieval fantasy kind of genre, and this game is perfect for letting you live out your castle building wants and needs. What else have we got here? Character tools. We can throw things. Look, we've already got that on our toolbar. Look, oh, it's like a cannonball. Oh, no way! That's awesome. I've got like a personal cannonball. Oh, pow! Oh, that's well worth it. Well worth it. Great. Well, I've totally. Oh, pow! Down it comes. I've totally destroyed this lot now. Great. Wow, I like that. These notes are kind of getting in the way a little bit. Let's see if we can turn them off. Show control hints. Okay. Great. Okay, we got rid of them. Awesome. Oh, pow! I missed. No, I didn't. Oh, this is going to be endless entertainment, isn't it? Well, it may well be more enjoyable for many people to destroy than to build, but at some point you're going to have to build as well. Pow! Oh, it lost most of its energy, but is the tower going to come down? The tower is holding, look. The tower is holding its integrity. Great. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. In Space Engineers, they often say it's a game of crashing spaceships, basically. More even than perhaps building spaceships, crashing them is half the fun. Although I have to say, the thing that really sold me on Space Engineers is when I got it, I didn't know what I was buying into. I didn't know anything about it. I knew you kind of built stuff, and it was a sort of a voxely based game. I went into survival mode, and I mean, the one thing about survival mode, which actually is kind of dangerous, is you get these asteroids randomly spawn in and come pounding against you, and I mean, these things were really causing me trouble, and I was like, I just didn't know what to do about it. And then I found a massive great big hole in an asteroid, and I flew my starter ship in there, and it was just sheer magnificence. And this is a pretty small ship. The starter ship is just like a little pod, basically. But it just felt so epic, like cruising this thing in through a hole that just barely fit it. It was great. So I'm pretty hopeful that we'll see oh, hey we'll see a lot of good stuff from from Medieval Engineers. I guess these are the voxel shaping tools. So let's just chuck a few of these in and see what they do. A square, I guess. There we go. So this. Oh, okay. This is like the grass struggles a little bit, clearly. It's trying to do grass on all sides, and it looks a little bit odd. Right click deletes voxels, so we can kind of dig ourselves a little cave here. Now, as far as I know, the terrain voxelization doesn't do physics. It doesn't have structural integrity, so you can have kind of overhangs that wouldn't normally be able to support themselves. Let's test that, shall we? Let's test that. We'll do that right now. We'll make an overhang here, and hold on. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know if this is planned. I haven't really read up on this game at all. I'll tell you what happened. It's a funny story. It's not actually that funny of a story. I had a recommendation from Fallen X in the Salt video. In a comment in the Salt video, he recommended that I give a try to a game called The Long Dark, which I have looked at in the past. And I've watched Scott Manley's playthrough of that when he's done a couple of videos of it. And it looks really interesting, and it looks like it's another survival game, basically, and a pretty harsh survival type game. And so I went into Steam to buy that, to give it a play and to put some videos up on the channel. And lo and behold, when I opened up Steam, what was staring me in the face but Medieval Engineers? And I knew this game was coming because I'd seen a few videos about it, but I haven't really been tracking it. It just kind of like registered that it was coming and got quite excited, and then thought, it's probably going to be ages away. And here it is! All of a sudden. It's early access. It's very early days in early access. But because it's being based off of the King's existing engine, it is already, like, you know, fairly well complete. And I'm reasonably confident that this game is going to be sort of developed and completed. I know that Keen have some history with some people. I wasn't involved with that at the time. I never heard about it. I never backed. What was the game called? It was like Asteroid Wars or something. So I was never really involved, but yeah, I can only really judge them on their recent history and their recent history with Space Engineers. And Space Engineers, they've released an update for that every week, more or less without fail. since I bought the game way back at the start of last year. And it's come an awful long way in that time. They added multiplayer support, which, I mean, has its own issues in terms of the direction of development, but nonetheless they added it. They've added a whole slew of different features, they've added mod support, they've added all sorts of things, and the game is really coming along. It's still got a long way to go, and the developers have responded to sort of concerns that maybe this is going to take away focus. I think understandably Space Engineers has been a big success for them. It's brought in a lot of money and they've used that money to hire more developers, and this is essentially a second team, and what they're looking to do is leverage the engine, which is a fantastic engine, it has to be said. You know, I think that's a good idea. I think in the end it should probably feed back into Space Engineers, and you'll see more, you'll see, you know, the sort of some of the enhancements that come out of Medieval Engineers feeding back into Space Engineers. Right, here we go. As I said, the terrain voxelization is not affected by the structural integrity. So here we have a magic floating boulder, which is, to be honest with you, I wasn't really expecting it to. And actually, it's nice because it means you can mold the terrain into interesting forms without worrying about it sort of collapsing and sliding down on itself and things. So there we go. I've made a butt ugly, massive, great big hole with a floating rock in it. So far, that's you know, not to mention this wonderful delight. I'm just amazing at these sorts of games. Yeah, alright, let's try and build something a bit prettier. Let's try and build an extension onto this house, shall we? So let's go, we'll get the wood, and we'll equip all these wood bits. Should we build a, let's build a stone extension onto it. I just deleted part of it. We're going to put a pillar in. There we go. Fantastic. Right, right, stone wall. Let's rotate it around like that. There, bam. Interestingly, it's kind of floating a little bit, as is that one. I'm not sure how the structural integrity engine has decided that that's suitable. Alright, rotate it around. If we can level the terrain, let's do that. We'll level the terrain. Terrain auto level. Put that in. Ah! That's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do at all. I've kind of buried my house. Well, never mind. It'll be a partially buried house, I guess. Use this to hollow it out a little bit. Clear it out. There we go. Mostly cleared out. I think the wall might still be floating ever so slightly. It is, look. It is. Fine. Let's just continue building this. We're gonna build out another one on the end. Huh, that's beautiful. And then a doorway. Lovely jubbly. And let's actually put a window in here. Nice. Door. Actually, just an archway here. Oh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we've already, like in just a few moments, we've added a lovely courtyard to this house. It looks, I mean, it looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? But you know, I'm sure you can do better than that. So I think that's it. I think that'll do for my first impressions video. I will probably do another video once I've got to grips with the... Hey! It's just such a thing of beauty. The way everything just crumples and falls apart. Well, we have to destroy the thing that we build it. So yeah, I'm going to do another video once I've had a little play around with the machinery, components, and see what I can build. Give basically first impressions of that. So we'll call this First Impressions Part 1. First Impressions Part 2, I will... First Impressions Part 2, I'll get cracking on when I've got a minute, and yeah, keep an eye on this game. If you buy in now, I think you get a bit of a discount. It's £12 I think for the basic version, about £15 for the deluxe version where you get the soundtrack and stuff as well, and the music in this game is actually very pretty, very nice. So yeah, if this floats your boat, if you like kind of voxel-y games and builder games and physics games, and specifically if you like Space Engineers and you want to see it in a medieval environment, then get this game and support the developers and see where it goes. However, I think that'll do for now. The Long Dark, I will take a look at the Long Dark. Unfortunately, I've kind of blown my budget for the month buying this on games. I only really let myself buy a maximum of one game a month at the moment. I guess that may change if things go well on the channel. But for the time being, that is the way. So this is the game for this month, and I will take a look at the Long Dark next month unless another game comes along and I impulsively buy that instead. But I do like the look of the Long Dark, and I would definitely look to pick that up at some point, and why not do it, and why not put it on the channel? So there we go, that's it for First Impressions of Medieval Engineers. It's a great game, I highly recommend you take a look at it, and if it's your sort of thing, by all means buy in, and hopefully we can all enjoy the development together. Anyway, I've been Weird Wizard, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later.